terrorist attack a few weeks ago.
If we get the Thrashers back, dude, my girlfriend and I, we're gonna be going to all of those games. We already like going to the Gladiator games. Okay, so Trump addresses the capture of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
American history and early.
Okay, I think this is it. There he is. The Secretary of War. I wish I could go back to those games. I grew up on those. You'd be so lucky. I never went to a Thrashers game. I never did as a kid. That would have been sick.
Okay, thank you very much. This is big stuff.
I was too busy playing Halo tournaments and blockbusters and trying to play paintball. That was my focus as a kid. And in fact, just to show you, like, my focus was paintball. I was privileged to play pro for a few years, and it just never would change it.
And early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
Yes, sir.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily...
Please tell me that's not foreshadowing for World War III.
...fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one
Dude,
of the
I can't wait for the new Gears of War game. Just
effective and powerful displays
sick.
of American
You want me, you, Jackie, us three play it, run through the campaign?
American history. And if you think about
I can feel the testosterone flowing through my body.
Like the attack on...
This isn't World War III. This is Advanced Warfare 1. Holy fuck.
The attack on al-Baghdadi.
Archivist, that was good. That was good. That was great.
Decimation of the Iran nuclear sites.
Absolutely, brother.
In an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Midnight Hammer?
Executed and done.
Dude, that sounds like a Warhammer 40K operation. Black Hammer.
No nation in the world could...
Technically, we live in the BO2 timeline. That's why I said Delta Force didn't carry out this operation. Black Ops Force did.
Yesterday.
Mason, what do the numbers mean? What do the numbers mean? I don't know, sir. They're in Spanish.
Frankly, in just a short period of time, all Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark.
That's what dead of night means.
Lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have.
Wait, you're telling me we turned off the lights?
The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have.
Are you telling me we got a kill streak? We got a Call of Duty kill streak, like a crazy EMP grenade, and just threw it down?
It was dark.
¿Qué está el nombre? No, número. ¿Qué está números?
And it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice.
Sir, expertise bombing the power grid? Do you think that's what we were bombing?
Neuro and Flores have been indicted.
Is that an active war archivist?
New York.
Neuro, is that an active war? Bombing grids? Yeah.
Against the United States and its citizens.
That seems like that would kind of be...
The men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power,
I believe so.
precision, and competence.
I too fear so.
Rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days.
They were different days. We were respected then, but now we're not respected. But now we're going to taste winning, so much peace.
Respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting
Literally.
for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in a ready, what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated.
What's up, Scotty?
If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment.
That is
was
true,
lost.
Archivist.
One service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have. And you see that even if you just look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%.
I know this
Those
isn't about the
drugs must have
drugs.
come
So
from
whenever I hear
a place
these
called
drug
Venezuela.
statistics, I'm like, come on.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
And it has
we
to
know
be
it's about the
judicious.
oil. The average American goes, oh, they had oil over there? Okay, that's why we're there.
We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States.
Now, I will say this: the people of Venezuela have been controlled by narco terrorists, right? Like the regime, the government there is definitely not supported by the people, right? If the people had an actual choice, they would have kicked that government long ago, or kicked out that administration long ago. They've tried holding political, elections, and whenever they lose, weirdly enough, the political leaders' heads tend to wind up on the tops of cars in the center of the town square. You can go look that up for yourself if you want to validate that. So if they have elections, it's not like they're followed and respected. You know what I'm saying? So the people there needed some form of liberation. I would hope that it would be some form of internal liberation. But now America coming in and referencing Afghanistan again, which is just once more for the drugs and the oil there.
And want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place.
We're gonna run it until a proper transit. Wait, we just took over Venezuela.
We're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place.
What? Hold on, what?
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time.
Now we're getting to where, of course, we're taking it over. Now we're getting to the business. What is the business? Oil. It's always about the fucking oil, boys. I feel like a conspiracy theorist, but it's always about the fucking oil.
They were pumping almost
Oil or
nothing
natural
by comparison
resources.
to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do
Fucking oil or fucking the oil? Well, depending on how much oil you have, a little bit of both.
a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually.
My man is saying we're gonna run their country until he thinks they aren't worth it after the oil is done for. Literally.
This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal
Ooh, we called him a kingpin.
amounts of deadly
Like a Batman villain.
and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans. Hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to, ultimately, New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's
So that tells me they might not enjoy it all if all the narcos get eliminated. I don't know. I think we've seen enough movies, we've seen enough literature, there's been enough history to where you remove a whole bunch of narcos and create a power vacuum. What fills it? Pretty sure Kingpin is Daredevil's villain? Fuck. I think you're right.
both horrible and breathtaking.
But you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let's not get lost in the details now. Let's not get lost in the details.
Maduro,
You know,
remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign.
it's gonna be our power,
terror,
yeah.
and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over in particular the United States, Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one. They're a mean one. They're a nasty bunch.
Indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they called police. They were brutal.
How are they not eliminated? If they're cutting the fingers off of American people and they're a narco-terrorist organization and they were holding up freaking apartments in Aurora, Colorado, and they're cutting off people's fingers once more, how do they not have a virtual in-game bullet to the noggin? You know, they needed to be, they don't need to be one shot, right? They don't need to be shields cracked, one shot. They need to be in the lobby, queuing up again.
They're not so brutal now. And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat, but we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have two, on average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're walking their daughters. They're walking their children, their wives, and walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. It's been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%.
That's impressive if that's true. I don't know if I always believe a lot of these numbers. I feel like they're a little disingenuous, a little misconstruing at time. The dude's cutting off fingers. Yeah. Um, Memphis, Tennessee is a crazy place, right? Now, Memphis, Tennessee, and then Southside Chicago. If we can clean those places up, I'll have some faith. This administration could do something.
The governor of Louisiana called.
Could always use the PP.
Listen,
Bro,
anyone
you got to
who's gonna
reserve
pay-
that is the nuclear weapon. That is your last resort. You just can't just pull out the PP right off the rip skis. You got to warm it up, a little foreplay, and then let it smash.
You know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana, and we have done that. It was a rough
New Orleans.
section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing.
Wow.
We've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago, and crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there when they need us. We'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it. And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities in the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua. And they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people, and now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will
Because we got his ass.
no longer be threats.
And his wife's.
Highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans'
Crazy.
lives.
Now, do we
So,
put them in the same box
heartlessly
or like
robbed by this
boxes across from
Venezuelan
each other?
Terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst. Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungary. What happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States.
Yo, that's
to steal
crazy.
American lives.
That's crazy,
They
archivist.
came
I'm not
from
even reading that out
Mental
loud.
institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons a little bit more
Then
a
jails.
little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher. A mental
A
institution
little bit more
is in the
restrictive.
stuff is an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions. They sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers. They were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the United States, but no longer. And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and stole American oil,
That Venezuela.
American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil.
Venezuela
infrastructure was
needs to
taken
be a
over
meme?
babies.
Dude, that's
We
what
didn't
I'm
do anything
saying.
about it. I would have done something.
That's
about
funny as fuck.
it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was
Yo, archivist,
increasingly
what time
hosting
is it over
foreign
there?
adversaries in our
It
region
has to be like
and
2
acquiring
a.m., does it
menacing
not?
offensive weapons that could threaten U.S.
You're on the other side of the
interests
world.
and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation
10:30?
of the
Okay, it's not
core
that bad.
principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. all the way back. It dated to the Monroe Doctrines.
Yeah.
And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal. But we've superseded it by a lot. By a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under
Bringing up that
our new
Monroe
national
Doctrine
security
again.
strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen. So just in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected.
I don't know how I completely feel about this Monroe Doctrine about having, like, you know, America has control of the Western Hemisphere. But if we're talking about the Americas, we have North America and South America. Ideally, you would want them working in unison, working together, right? And you don't want some foreign invader, some Eastern invader bringing that in, because that just means, you know, you're just being closed in and surrounded. You ideally you want like this side of the playing field and this side of the playing field fair and equal.
Or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way in our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security. Just like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security strong, stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels, and we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic. Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America, but I will never allow terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American Armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela.
What changes have the tariffs made? Apparently, it's made the government a lot more money, not the American people. That's for sure. 2026, and I'm wondering why countries continue pissing off other countries. That's what I'm saying. Like this, I feel like we're in this weird generational gap right now where we're seeing how the previous guard, the old guard, was constantly fucking with each other underneath the table, and now you can't do that underneath the table because everything is on the internet. So I hope that once this kind of irons out and all of this riffraff, you know, once it all settles down, the world itself will be a lot more peaceful.
Again,
but it's going to take like a decade or two of riffraff to get there, I think.
A safer nation. This morning, it's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad things to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane. He's a fantastic man. I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice. And I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Yo, what's up? What's up, brother? Welcome back.
Explain how the U.S. will run Venezuela? Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said,
no technical.
words can barely capture.
Yeah, we'll probably get it now.
And the power and the precision of this historic operation.
This is Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War.
Flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry and glory of the American warrior.
Jeez.
I'm simply humbled by such men, and I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve, the most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our
That sounds
adversaries
like a
remain
tape
on
from-
notice. America can project our will
I can't not
anywhere,
hear that now.
anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice.
The glazing
all
begins. Oh yeah,
in the middle of
guys,
the
get
night.
ready. Pull out the glizzy
Nicolas
because it'll
Maduro
get glazed.
Had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out. President Trump is deadly
said the
serious
meme?
about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs
deadly
and
serious.
poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence
No,
and
no,
dominance in the
no,
Western
no.
Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom.
Taliban's
and
laughing from
prosperity
above. Yeah, because they're
of the American
dead.
people.
I mean, they're in the
This
server.
is America first.
They're queuing back in. They're
This
waiting to
is
reincarnate.
peace
They're
restraint.
waiting for the
The
load
United
back
States
into the
War
server.
Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026, and under President Trump.
Happy 2026, y'all.
back.
It's day 3.
I'd like to welcome now our chairman, Chairman Raisin Kane, to give a few more details about the operation. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States, and in support of a request from the Department of Justice,
A lot of
as the
pins.
President said, the United
A lot of
States military
badges.
conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice 2 indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd. And was the
Trillion with a T?
culmination of months of planning.
Get
and
it
rehearsal.
yesterday. We
An
need it.
operation
Stat.
that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details.
Okay.
without
Archivist,
compromising
here you go.
Any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2
Back
decades
then,
have
it
honed
still
the
is
skills of
goated.
our special
I
operations
love
forces,
gold.
this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our
Sharks with
intelligence
laser
agency
beams
partners
attached
and
to
law
their
enforcement
freaking
teammates
foreheads.
in an unprecedented operation. We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of
Michael
experience
Myers
in
is
hunting
goated.
terrorists, and we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various
You gotta have a
intelligence
doobie or
agencies,
2 rolled
including
up, some
CIA,
fat ones rolled up, if
NSA,
we gotta
and
watch Austin
NGA.
Powers.
We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that
Audacious.
only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision
The
and
self-glazing.
integration within our joint force.
Unreal.
And the word
Every military
integration
says this.
does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose: to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets, in early December,
Damn,
our
we got a
force was
whole
set
fucking
pending a series of aligned events.
a lot of intelligence on this
He
guy.
was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise, and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel, so as the president said, they could be brought to
A whole
justice.
intel for sure. Yeah,
And
that's
as the
probably a
president
dumb way
said
for me to
earlier
say it.
today,
But
weather
holy
in
shit.
Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year.
we guy knows if
Over
he
the
poop,
weeks
if he
of
pees
Christmas and
standing
New
up or
Year's,
sitting
the
down.
men
Like we
and
knew it
women of
all.
The United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path.
Like we know if Maduro wipes his ass from the front or the back. We had that much intel on him apparently.
that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings, but when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the President ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire Joint Force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49.
Wow.
And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the
Imagine a
helicopters
20-year-old.
took off with the extraction force.
Imagine the 20-year-old pilot. Bro, you just graduated high school. You just graduated high school. And you're now over the skies of Caracas, Venezuela, dropping bombs off.
Which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component is, was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home.
Yeah, it's Call of Duty. He definitely went on like a 7-piece and got the precision airstrike.
We assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m.
We're getting a play-by-play?
And the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. The aircraft was hit but remained flyable, and as the President said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during
no air
mission.
defense? I think they
As the
tried.
operation
Our
unfolded at the
air
compound,
offense was
and
just
ground
greater than their air
intelligence teams
defense.
provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. Remained protected by overhead.
Bro, we had kill streaks stacked up, and we used every single one of them. We used the cruise missiles, the precision airstrike, the watchdog helicopters. The next thing we know, there's gonna be VTOL jets that have been called in.
Tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism.
Who do you think was harder to
and
capture,
precision,
him or the wife?
with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to
I think we talked about the EMP
exfiltrate
earlier.
force,
Yeah, we hit that.
while
We hit that
fighter
with the
aircraft and piloted aircraft provided overhead
their
coverage
power grid.
and
The
suppressive
wife.
fire. There were
I agree.
self-defense engagements as the force began.
She probably had some some chanclas that were just floating around her, and they walked into the boys, and she's like starts saying like some Spanish witchcraft, and all the flip flops just started spinning in the air. They're like, "Oh shit!" They close the door, open the door back up. All the flip flops are just like shurikened into the door. She probably was a tough one. She's a high level sorcerer.
Successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern
What's up,
Standard
Stidix?
Time with indicted persons on board, and both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing,
The force
what
is
we've
strong with
witnessed
that one.
today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop,
Hey, he can come back for
we
the fifth
train,
time.
We rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to
That's
integrate
strong.
combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them.
The glazing of the
As we
military.
stand here this morning,
Insane.
our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness,
See what
prepared
the chat
to
has to
project
say.
power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region.
If there is one.
This operation is a
Thinking about it.
testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission. Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes
Loki,
us
his
strong.
US pens don't even
Thank
look
you, Mr.
distributed.
Secretary, and thank you, Mr.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't have much.
Baby Marco, dude, this guy, honest to God, he's been out of this administration probably the most impressive to me. Like, I'm not gonna get uber political here. Like JD Vance, I know is lined up to be the next president for 2028. I think Marco has a better shot.
To add to what you've heard now, other than the following points, Nicholas
Let
Maduro
Cuba be
in
next.
2020 in the United States. He is not the legitimate.
Go
president
get
of
Hillary
Venezuela.
Clinton.
That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognize him. He's not recognized
The
by
people
the
that
European
believe
Union and
this?
multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice with a $50 million reward, which I guess we saved $50 million. And
We saved $50 million. See, I like the way you think, Marco.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, two oh, okay, yeah. Oh, they don't look even. Like one was higher
But
than
I
the
wanna be clear about
like.
one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around. And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy
Yeah,
who
yeah,
decides
yeah,
to
yeah.
invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now
This is
understand
crazy.
that we have a president, the 47th president of the United
Just
States,
read this
who's not
chat,
a game
y'all.
player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out.
That is true. Whether you like Trump or not, there has been a lot that has happened, right? A lot that has happened. Normally, a president comes in and it's kind of all the same. Except when Obamacare came in, there's been times where like overreaching things are done, but consistently, Trump has done a lot.
And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and doesn't.
It could have been just the way that it was folded, you know what I mean? Because he looked like a small guy in a big suit.
And this is something.
But
that's
I
a
agree
direct
with you.
threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed
What
it.
a
As
warmongering
president of peace, by the
population.
way, I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities.
You know what I'm
to find
saying?
his way
Maybe,
somewhere else
possibly.
And figure out another. He
Possibly.
Living somewhere else right now, very
But I
happy.
agree with you. I
Instead,
think
he
they
wanted
were
to
a
play big
little.
boy.
I
So
kept
now,
looking
he's
back
got
at it,
other
thinking
sets of
something was
problems
off.
on his hands. But I think the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that
Wow.
I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Mr. President.
Is that a message for Cuba? Is Cuba really? Is Cuba next?
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Said something about Flintwater earlier.
Said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela. So who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to
So we are in charge of Venezuela right now.
rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will.
That's what he said, right? Is this Neuro? You're the I think maybe the only other American in here. Please tell me this is what you're understanding.
Mr. President.
You said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela. So who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly.
Us?
We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but it's going to be paid, and we're going to get
Well, reimburse means that the government eventually is going to pay for it, which means that we eventually pay for it.
the oil flowing the way it should be.
Yeah, earlier I was
Which is
saying that
the
he
minor
wants us to
flows
run
and
it. Yeah,
pay for what they have.
that's what we said earlier.
We're gonna
But
run it
like,
properly, and we're going to make sure the people of
he
Venezuela
doubled
are
down on
taken
it.
care of.
He
We're
came
gonna make sure
back
the
and
people
said,
that
"No,
were
we are
forced out of
doing it."
Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Warren look pretty good right now.
Mr. President.
President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is not. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now.
Yeah, literally,
We're ready to go
literally
if we have to.
archivist.
We're going to run
Us,
the country right.
we gotta
It's
run
gonna
that
be
shit.
Run very.
Who runs this city? We
judiciously.
run this town.
It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people.
Freedom
We're
to
gonna
Cuba.
reimburse, people
Yes,
that were
free
taken
Cuba.
advantage of.
Freedom for
Thank you,
Iran.
everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away.
Oh, we
with it.
gotta
They saw
tomorrow.
our
Tomorrow when we
country
stream again
go
in the
back.
morning, we got a lot to catch
And
up
they
on.
just took it over like we were nothing, and we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did.
Is this the
something about it. We're late.
Pakistani flag,
We did something
but
about it.
pink?
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you explain the exact mechanism by which
Meaning
you run the country?
Pakistan is
Given the
cancer?
designated just official
I agree with
country?
this.
It's all being-
Pakistan's a joke of a
We're
country.
designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
What's the group you mentioned that would run Venezuela?
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time the people that are standing right behind me.
Holy, he triples down on it. He triples down on it. We are running fucking Venezuela now?
We're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead. You know, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world, and it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there. A lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track. Make a lot of money for the people.
I
and
saw
give
the
people a
UK.
great way
UK's
of life,
gone.
and also
You can't save it.
reimbursement
It's already
for
gone.
people in
Same
our
with
country
France.
that were forced out of Venezuela.
Rubio would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview, and then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela.
How was
Are you gonna work
Xmas,
with the vice
Elrod?
president
I'll
of
talk about that
Venezuela,
after
or how do
this.
you foresee the relationship
It was
with him?
fantastic, though. I've had a fantastic
But
little
she was,
break.
as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make
This is what I
Venezuela
see
great again.
most.
Very simple.
Cuba and Iran.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is
Well,
about
he
that.
has cocaine mills. He has factories.
Scotty,
where he
I
makes
think you just
cocaine.
made a new best friend.
Yeah, I think I stick by
I'm
that.
jealous. You made a new best friend
He's
without
making
me?
cocaine. They're
Fuck
sending
you,
it
bro.
to the United States. So
I thought,
we
hey,
just
look,
have to
Scotty.
say-
Canada, the 51st state. How do you feel about that?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind
Oh,
of mission
yeah.
to call people and say,
Yeah. No, Neuro, 100%. He's heard that there's absolutely no freedom of speech in England, to where if I say something crazy on Twitch, I could get arrested. Yes. No, that there's been dozens of cases now where young men, young women, older men, older women have, and professionals, like one of the number one England's comedy writers and comedy music directors said something like J.K. Rowling did against like trans, like not even speaking down on trans, just made a comment on trans, and they stripped him of all his awards. They threw him in jail. It was insane. The dude literally flew over from England, came over to Joe Rogan, did like a little press tour, talked about it, and when he came back, when he flew back, they were waiting for him when he landed in England. Insane. Check my message with your soft butt. Fuck no, we aren't. Oh, I know you're not. My soft butt. My this is buns of steel. Buns of fucking steel. What are you talking about?
But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core,
It's crazy.
was
No,
the
it is
arrest of
crazy.
Two indicted fugitives of American justice.
England and
Department
France
of
are,
War supported
unfortunately,
the
they're
Department of
gone.
Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
I never really liked France, so, you know, I don't give a fuck. England kind of
Congress has a
sucks.
tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result.
Stithix, I
But
fucking love you. I
at some
love
point,
you.
know, a lot of ships out there. That's gonna
Come
be-
over here so I can shake your ass.
Congress-
Grip it
Congress will
firmly.
leak, and we don't want
I
leakage.
love you, Stithix.
You were one of the only people to watch this all play out live.
That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro
That's
was
cool.
back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened.
You fight one team and extract on Arc. I don't want to hear it from you. I fought 3 teams by myself last night and gooped up and got out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Through the opposition so fast, and there was a lot of opposition. You know, people were wondering. Do we
Okay,
get by surprise?
trivia,
By surprise,
define the
but they
third
were
world.
Waiting for something.
One that hasn't found oil yet, so it can't get that American democracy. That's what it is, archivist. It's just third worlds or just ones that haven't gotten that American democracy yet. So I took 9 people out by myself. No. I was solo. 3. I was playing solos.
It was a lot of opposition.
Not 9 people.
There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some.
Not
of it
9
today.
people.
But he was trying to get
No,
to
no,
a
no,
safe
no, no, no,
place, which wasn't safe.
No, that
because
would be
we would've had the
crazy.
door blown up
No,
in
just I was playing
about
solos.
47, I think
Gooped
47
up.
seconds, they say on average. Regardless.
Oh,
of
that
how
doesn't
thick the
count?
steel was.
At
He was a
3
big
pieces
closer.
solo
He had
don't
to do it, but
count?
He was unable to get to that door.
Damn.
He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
So where's Maduro going to be?
Go ahead, finish.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
See, I play Arc Raiders. Scotty, like how America bombed Venezuela. I go in with the mission. I see one team and I say, that's my banditos right there. And I go in and I get their goop. And like a surgical mission so nothing gets lost. Because I want to be efficient. I get the fuck out. I don't stay around to fuck around and find out. I go in with a surgical fucking mission. I get my goop. I slay who needs to be slayed. And then we extract.
Ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
You got GTA 4?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record.
I'm 100% down, though.
Without necessarily
Give me a little bit.
what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me,
that
though.
weigh on your decision
Well, that's why we
making?
had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning.
Dakota has a Gary Johnson
We went-
archivist.
If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle
Peace in the Middle East from Project Hammer, huh?
East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
Stithix, I love you. I love you, Stithix.
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. We're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's a blow-up territory.
What
Oil is
piece?
very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground.
The metaphorical kind, the rhetorical kind.
Can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it. And we're going to take a lot of money out so that
The
we can
Trump
take care of
kind.
the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operate?
I do find that a problem that Russia, China, and all of these places have such a vested interest in Venezuela. It is an issue.
Affect your relationships with them
Well,
when
in
it comes
terms
to the
of
oil and
China
drugs?
and Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to. In other words,
We're in the oil business. He said the quiet part out loud. We are the oil business. So you find some oil? Oh, congratulations. You've also found freedom and democracy.
we'll be selling oil. Probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure.
Oh,
is so
Pep's
bad.
playing some
So
Arc
we'll be
Raiders,
selling
Scotty.
large
You
amounts
found
of
your
oil
third.
to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
This year going to be an SNL skit, and we're going to be here commenting on it all. We're going to be here yapping on it all. So please, like and subscribe, baby.
What is your message to the people of
That
Venezuela?
you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen.
You're going to have peace. You're going to have justice. Those are two different things. Peace and justice, two different things. You're also going to have winning. Lots of winning.
From you, but you're going to have peace and you're going to have.
You're gonna get
safety,
hollow.
justice, You're going to have a country. You're going to have a great country. You're going to have potentially a
What
great country.
about my
If you go back 20
coffee?
years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country.
I
and they
need
destroyed it.
my
Remember, I said
coffee.
that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly.
Oh, no, we would have been. If we lost this election, I mean, granted, the economy isn't doing that good right now, but it would have been so bad with some of the policies and the things that the Kamala administration would have ran. Oh,
You look at the border from 2020, what they did.
peace,
what Joe
justice,
Biden did
winning, and the oil.
to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had
This
something
is why
over the year
it's
that we wouldn't have,
fascinating.
we would be exactly where Venezuela was. I used to
Holy
say,
shit.
if they win, we're gonna
Archivist,
be
you're on one
Venezuela
today. You're on
upstairs,
it, dude.
and
You're
that's what
funny.
happened.
You are funny.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military
They're going
troops
to be
to
a team
provide?
that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because
So yes. Yes is the answer to that question.
for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over.
More
You have
terrorist.
A vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, "We'll do whatever you need."
Please don't take me. Please, whatever you need. Whatever you need.
I think she was
Take
quite
it.
gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not
Fly
going to
over,
just do
drink
this with
tea?
Maduro, then leave like everybody else leave and say, let it go to hell.
Yeah.
If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't
That sounds like a great plan. Why the fuck can't we do that here?
stress this strongly enough. The people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
So, Mr. President, what's being done to protect Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans
Well, right now they're
arrested
very
last night?
protected because
My God, what fascist comments. I swear to
nobody's
God.
going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
We good in Colombia? What you talking about? We good in Colombia. We're good.
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago.
And what can you
Okay,
say
wait,
about-
behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is
Very good question. Very good question.
because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, is there a message here for Cuba and the
Interesting.
U.S. Canal?
Well, Cuba's an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now. Very
Are we going to do this? Is Cuba about to be the same thing as Puerto Rico? Is that where we're going next?
badly failing nation. And we want to help the
Because this would fall in line with the Monroe Doctrine of stabilizing the Western Hemisphere and probably unifying it in a sense.
people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave
Marco said shit.
a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent.
Okay, so yes, Cuba is next. So that was your question. After Venezuela, I wonder where we go next. Apparently Cuba. And you know what that means? Cuban cigars might get a little cheaper. And Neuro, we go in, we playing Gears 3, that new Gears game that's coming out later. I think it's called Revelations or something like that. We could be smoking on them American Cuban cigars. You know what I'm saying?
In some cases, not seen now, but
American Cuba.
It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all the guards that helped protect Maduro. This is well known. Their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans.
Much
I mean,
cheaper.
It's amazing. This poor
Now, granted, my cigar might not have tobacco in it. It might have something else in it, but
they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it.
we are entering an Advanced Warfare 1 server. Fucking archivist, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
If I lived in Havana, I would be a little. Oh my God, we are entering Advanced Warfare 1.
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's an
The answer is yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. Really, no, we haven't.
Mr. President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it'd be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within, or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us
the U.S.
anything.
isn't going to
We
dedicate
will.
money to
Well, we want safety there. We want to be surrounded by
Always about the fucking oil.
countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil.
But then we're
frankly, we should have
reimbursing
taken
them.
back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend.
Trump
So
is
it's
not
gonna be,
resigning.
it's going to be a very important. It's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important.
I mean, as an American, he's not wrong. Like, I can't disagree with this statement. I've not been a big fan of Trump recently. How he's done the Epstein files, a couple other things, like haven't been great. This I agree with him on.
Important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster.
Yikes.
So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year, is going to be a great thing, and the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Mr. President, U.S. military. Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well,
U.S.
I don't want to
at
get
war
into the
with Venezuela?
conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain,
Shit.
you said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
Mr. President, you referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that country?
No, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending our expertise in. So you may need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela, and it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages
That's what he
caused
wants.
by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr.
Unless it's a bad question, in which case I'll go one word.
It's about Putin, if you want.
About Putin. Well, that's always nice.
You had a
to talk
phone.
about Putin.
You had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro?
That's us, dude. Trump is good. Trump is definitely an entertainer. Like he's locked in. He is present. His mind is nowhere else.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people.
There was that
I
intelligence.
thought that would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours. And I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. I settled the war, but then they broke it.
I love this. Oh my God! We're never gonna have another president like this. Holy shit! He gave himself a quarter, guys.
They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got him to go back to peace, so I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not, and they both have.
At least he's admitting to, he thought it would be easier, and he said it's not. It's a little tougher than he imagined. So at least there's some level of acknowledgement. You know what I mean?
Done some pretty bad things.
Was there a crazy one to watch as well? I mean, they're both fucking crazy. Let's be honest.
Did you see where last month 30,000? It was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions, we send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings.
He wants to stop the killing and make the money. I mean, I respect that.
From 2 places that are very far away.
There will be civil war in
I can
Venezuela?
stop,
I don't
because
think there
it's
will be.
something I've been pretty good at doing deals. I guess it's all a deal. Life
I
is a
don't.
big
I
deal.
really, archivist. I
But
don't think
if
there
I
will
can
be.
stop
I
that
think
war and
most
stop
people are going to be
30,000 young people. In addition to
for
the fact
what's happening.
that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities. You know, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should never
Finally,
happen.
we
If
got
we're
that
president, it
goddamn
never
oil.
happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I
It just takes a few people and a few presidents and maybe a regime change or two.
were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general, and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long, that I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath. And we want it to get stopped. Thank you very much.
Guys, he already said it was going to be one more question. I mean, that's just a little ridiculous. That's crazy. Okay, so while we were watching this, I had time to to bookmark some stuff on Instagram. Look at this. This is probably the most impressive video of what happened in Caracas. And we're not talking Doom. Wow. Just driving. Wow. Dude, you're driving on the highway and there's literally precision airstrikes, cluster bombs coming over your head. Arriba, arriba, arriba! Yo. Dude, that's terrifying.
See, as you can see,
This is Maduro this morning.
See, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. See, as you can see.
Damn. Oh. At this moment, the military and naval infrastructure of Caracas is being massively bombed by the U.S. Naval Fleet cruise missiles and glide bombs, aka the Tomahawks.
Dios mío, en la casa de
Mío. Oh my, oh my.
Vete para acá, mamá. Vete para acá, mamá. A misiles, cuidado. Dios mío santo. No.
Oh my saints.
Tira, mira los misiles.
The missile.
Marico, ¿lo viste? Los que están cayendo. Cayó en la casa de Bucuana uno, mira, y hay otro. Mira, se fue.
So that was one missile. It's not over. My Caracas, it's my dune. Oh my god. Oh, I love the internet. This is why everyone's RAM is getting so expensive. The United States Army Apache MH-60M damp helicopters operating in Venezuela show intense gunfire and ongoing activity in the area. Literally the watchdog helo in your area. Call of Duty kill streak. Wow. Oh my god. Let's go. Happy Diwali. One part of me agrees with Archivist, and the other one says brainwashed by narco people will be fighting back against all, not all people. I mean, maybe there's some, but with the how bad the Venezuelan economy is right now, I just some part of me feels sorry for Venezuela. Oh, a large part of me feels sorry for Venezuela. For the people of Venezuela, are you kidding me? All I have is like I just empathy for them. Right? Like all I could do is feel for them. The government I have no empathy for, right? The people who are in charge making decisions who have screwed the people of Venezuela over. But 100%, the people of Venezuela are fucked right now.